Hi, it's Ingrid. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a little themed video that I've been wanting to do for a while. I waited until now because I would really like to post this on August 20th. That is next Tuesday. It's currently Wednesday, so I have about a week. You've already seen it by the title, but in today's video I will be reading Ben Barnes' favorite books in honor of his birthday, which is August 20th. So please let me post this on the day. Please. So I need to finish the books, edit the video to have it uploaded. In honor of today's video, I'm wearing my Ben Barnes shirt from Etsy. I love it. I also really love Ben Barnes. My celebrity crush, one of my favorite people. Love him. I have picked out 3 books I would like to read in this video. Now, I'm not going to claim for sure that these are his absolute favorite books, but these are books that he has talked about in interviews, posted on Instagram, and I'm using the 2 Instagram accounts as my sources for this, on top of my own fan knowledge, I guess, from watching his interviews, watching his Instagram stories, just watching him talk about books or post about books in any sense. But I use 2 Instagram accounts to back up my claims, and they have sources. So those Instagram accounts are celebbookrecs and benbbooks. Usernames on the screen in case you want to check them out. I love them. I've used celebbookrecs before when I did my reading celebrities' favorite books, so you can go watch that if you want to. But the books that I'm thinking about reading in this video, I hope I get to read all 3. It might not happen. So I have 1984 by George Orwell, Northern Lights by Philip Pullman, and Normal People by Sally Rooney. So before we go into the reading, I'm gonna go through some stats on the book. There's more. And we're going to figure out which one I want to start with. So I'm gonna go through just in general about the books, and then we're gonna talk about Ben Barnes and the books as we go along. So first off, 1984 by George Orwell was released on June 8th, 1949. I added it to my Goodreads on May 18th, 2022, so I've had this for a while. Out of these 3 books, this is the one that was published first, and it's also the book I bought first. This one has 311 pages and an appendix. I don't really know exactly what an appendix is, but it says the end, and then the appendix gets there. Should I figure out what an appendix is? Probably, but I don't want to. This is a classic. On Goodreads, this is on a list of books that will change your life, books that everyone should read. It's a very popular book. It has a 4.19 Goodreads rating, so I'm hoping I love it. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews. I can see 5 stars and then the next person gives it 1 star, so I don't really know what to think. I don't really know what it's about. I know it's a classic. It's a science fiction dystopian type of thing. We're gonna go through the actual synopsis of the book when we're going to read it. Northern Lights, the first book in the Historic Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman, was released on July 9th, 1995. So it's a little younger than 1984, but it's still pretty old, almost 30 years. So it's not very recent, but I'm wondering if it's gonna be some modern things in it. Is it gonna be difficult to read because it's 30 years old, or is it gonna be the same? I don't really know. I feel like I should read books from different time periods. I'm trying to get better at that because I think that would be interesting. But anyways, this book has 397 pages. This one does also have an appendix, and I don't really know what more to say. It's a fantasy, sci-fi. This one is a YA and children's middle grade book, but I did Google it, and it says that the book is fitting for all ages, because there are themes in this book that children might not understand, but that adults will get. So why it's a YA book or a children's book, I don't really know, but I'm gonna see what I think. This one has a 4.1, no. This one has a 4.02 Goodreads rating, So I don't really know. I haven't heard a lot about it, but it has been made into a TV show with James McAvoy. So maybe I'll watch that after I finish it. That girl on the cover, I've seen her before. I do not know who that is, but I know I've seen her before. We're gonna have to do some research on that eventually. Normal People by Sally Rooney was released on the 28th of August 2018. This has 266 pages, so it's a lot shorter. I added this to my Goodreads on November 20th, 2022. So it's the most recent purchase out of these 3 books, but it's still been on my shelf for a really long time. I've heard so much about this. Not necessarily what it's about, but I know that a lot of people love it. Surprisingly enough, it only has a 3.81 Goodreads rating, which is weird because I hear everyone love this. I don't think I've ever heard anyone give this a bad review. I know it's sad, people cry. This is like a contemporary adult literary fiction. And I don't know much more than that, but I am very excited to finally read it. Now we need to figure out which book to start with. So we could do like reading the oldest book first and then going through the years until the most recent one. Or we could do it by Goodreads rating, or just pick whatever we want. The camera battery is flashing, which is very unfortunate since I just started this video. But let's just figure this out. I think I want to start with, I'm not ready for Normal People. I think I'm going to start with Historic Materials, Northern Lights. It says Historic Materials, Northern Lights, but I know Historic Materials is a series, and Northern Lights is book number 1. So I don't know exactly what this is about, so I'm just going to read the back of it for you, and then we're going to get into the reading. We need to see what Ben Barnes says about this book. Okay. So at the top of the back here, it says, "Without this child, we shall all die." And then into the actual synopsis of the book. Lyra and her animal demon. I don't know why are you spelling it like that. That doesn't make sense to me as a Norwegian, because that second letter is an actual letter of our alphabet, and that's not used in the English language. Has it ever been used? Maybe, I don't know, but in the current English language, it's not in there. But Lyra and her animal demon live... I'm not supposed to say demon, because that's not... It bothers me. Live half wild and carefree among the scholars of Jordan College, Oxford. Her destiny will take her to the frozen lands of the Arctic, where witch clans reign and ice bears fight, and the extraordinary journey that awaits her will have immeasurable consequences for beyond her own world. That's the back. Didn't give me much, but we're gonna have to get into it. So, about Historic Materials, Ben Barnes has said that he won an essay competition when he was in university writing about this book, and he's also mentioned it. I need to find this Instagram post. I'm gonna put the picture on the screen, but he was once asked about his favorite books and he posted this on his Instagram story, and as you can see, the second book from the top is Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. So we're gonna get into it, we're gonna see what I think, and I'm gonna try to give you as many updates as possible. Let's go. This video 2 days ago, and it's been 2 days of not reading anything. But I started Northern Lights today. I'm not very far in. I'm 66 pages in, and I don't want to read it. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. I don't like the way it's written. I feel like it doesn't make sense, and I don't think it's good. I think the story is boring, the characters are boring, the writing is just not good. it's so much dialogue. Like the first chapter, every single line was just dialogue. And then I've read 3 chapters now, and I don't like it. I don't think this book is good, and I kind of want to DNF it. But it's a little annoying to DNF a book this early on when it's for a themed video. Like, I've been waiting to read this book for this video. I think when I was searching up this book to tell you about the release date and all of that, I came across this article saying that this book was banned in the US because of something being like against the church or whatever. I don't really know. I see the church references in here, but I'm gonna first Google the author. It says on Wikipedia that in a 2004 BBC poll, he was named the 11th most influential person in British culture. Why? I'm gonna say if it says anything about his writing. Okay, I don't really care, so I don't know what I'm googling. Just the way it's written, I don't understand like some of the sentences. The grammar doesn't make sense to me. And like, I'm gonna say I'm not like a native English speaker. English is not my first language. This is not the way I was taught English. This is not how people talk. Like, the structure of the sentences just doesn't make sense. And there's so much that just bothers me, and I don't want to read the book. And I was hoping to read like at least half of it today, but right now I don't want to read at all because the book is so bad. And I was like googling it, and apparently he's been like awarded awards, and he's like highly praised, not by Christians, because he's also been called anti-Christian and anti-religion. But I don't get it. Like, what's with this book? Why is it being studied in English degrees? Why are people praising it? I'm not far into it, so I'm not really judging this story too much, because a lot can happen, but the writing is so bad. And I'm a little upset, because this was the book I was the most excited to read out of the 3 I was reading in this video. I wasn't planning on updating until I got to part 3, but I just need to say something. I just finished part 1, by the way. This is not about this book at all, but I've never craved a book. Like, I'm just thinking about the Alex Stern series, Ninth House, Hellbent. I need the next book right now. I miss that world and the characters and everything about that story so badly. I think I should change my rating of Hellbent to a 5-star actually, because I can't stop thinking about it. Like, I want that book right now. I need the next one, and it hasn't even been announced. Like, it's been announced that it's going to be a 3rd book, but like, nothing about it. There's no release date. I don't even know if she started writing it, but I want to read that so badly. But no, I'm stuck with this. And just the writing and the dialogue and everything is just bothering me. There was a little moment there where everything was fine, but then it's back to the writing that I'm not enjoying. And I want this book to be over. I don't want to DNF it, but I just don't want to read it either. And I need a new Alex Stern book. Lee Bardugo, please, just give it to me.
I knew something was not gonna go right.
I don't want to read. I need to finish my book. But now I'm watching Caitlin watch Co's YouTube video, and I want to read Throne of Glass. I'm not going to. Not yet. I'm going to finish Avatar first. But I really want to read it. And I don't want to read my book. So, it's late. Well, it's not that late. It's 8:30. But it's dark out, so the lighting is pretty bad. But I don't know what to do. I hate this when the lighting is bad, and I'm gonna try something. that didn't do much. But I did finish Northern Lights earlier today. Didn't have time to talk about it because I went to a football game. But I think it's time. I finished it, and I have thoughts. In the beginning of this book, I really wanted to DNF it, but then I pushed through, and throughout the whole story I've been thinking like 2 stars, 3 stars, don't really know. And I have gone a little back and forth because the writing was my biggest issue with this. I don't think his writing is for me, and like it felt like the grammar and the structure of his sentences just didn't make sense. But I don't think he's a bad writer. I think he knows grammar. I think it was like, it looks like it was a purposeful stylistic choice made by him, and I just didn't vibe with it. So that doesn't really mean that it's written badly. I just didn't like it. It's not for me. The story was also a little questionable because I enjoyed parts of it, but then there was also times where I was like, this is too much, this is unnecessary, and I was bored and I just wanted it to be over. Like, especially towards like the end, but not the actual end. In the middle of the book and a little more towards the end, I was feeling bored and I was just waiting for the book to be over. But then we got closer to the end and I was like really invested and I really want to know what happens. And I was really connected to our main girl, Lyra. I really liked her, and I am really excited to see where her story is going. Because there's a trilogy, so there's 2 more books, and this is why I'm confused. Like, do I rate it 2 stars or 3 stars? Because I feel like I have thoughts that can make it a 2 star. But since I want to continue this book, well, this series, I think maybe a 3 stars. So I've been thinking about the story at the football game. Like, I've put the book down and I'm still thinking about it. I think that means that I've liked parts of it. So I don't really know, but I think I've landed on a 3 stars. Because I have liked this more than books I've rated 2 and 3 stars. But just his writing, really not my favorite, and there was a few things in here that I didn't like. But I still kind of recommend it, because I think that if you don't care about that writing that he does, you can enjoy the story. The characters was a little confusing in the beginning because I couldn't really understand who was who. But by the end I got the hang of it, and I'm liking characters and I'm hoping to see more of them in the next books. Some characters that I really liked, one in particular that I really liked in the beginning, I hated in the end because I was so confused, like how did we go from that to this, and I just don't get it. But I'm done talking about this book now. We're gonna move over to our next read, which is Normal People by Sally Rooney. This is a very popular book. Everyone has read it, I feel like. I bought this when it was like really viral on Book Talk, because I was in a phase of my reading journey where I just bought every single book that people were talking about without really looking into it. Like, I didn't know if I was gonna like it or what it was about. Still kind of don't. But it's very intimidating to me because it's so popular and it makes people cry, and I'm a little scared of that. But I'm gonna go see what people have said about it. So Ben Barnes, that's who this video is focused on. He said in an interview with Penguin Books that he loves the quite insightfulness of it. My source here is Ben B Books on Instagram. It's a Instagram page dedicated to Ben Barnes and books. But this book is also liked by other people, such as Taylor Swift, who once told a fan that she loved this book. Kaya Gerber, I briefly know who she is, I don't really know, I don't know if I said her name right. But she read this book for a book club, and in her live stream where she discussed the book, she claimed that this book is one of her favorites. Also, Daisy Edgar Jones, who plays the main girl in the TV adaptation of this, I'm pretty sure, said that I think what Normal People really does celebrate is human connection and intimacy. And that is something we're all hyper aware of craving. And that's kind of making me intrigued, because I want something that I can really connect to, and maybe I can do that in this. And my neighbor is looking at me and I'm scared. I hate this. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now and we're gonna get to reading Normal People. Don't really know what it's about. I know the cover is extremely ugly, but I'm getting really insecure, so I'm gonna go now. I just put my LED lights up, and filming late is gonna be so much easier now. There's actually some lighting in my room, and I'm very happy with it. It doesn't go away all the way around, like you see right above like the little cave, and then over there. But it works because I like to film here, and I'm so happy. A little update on my book, Normal People. I'm 106 pages in and I'm hating it. I don't understand why people are loving it. Yes, it's honest in a way, I guess, and you don't really see a lot of this, but I still don't like it. The writing, oh my god, why is she not using quotation marks? How am I supposed to know if you're talking to someone or if you're thinking? And when they like switch between when they're having a conversation, the quotation mark helps me see who's talking, and I hate it. And also the whole story is told in such a weird way. It's like you see one thing and then you can be like 3 weeks later and then you get that chapter, 3 months later and that chapter, and it's just so annoying. I don't think I ever told you what the book's about, but basically Normal People starts out with Marianne, who is a very rich girl. She lives in like a mansion, but then at school she's very not popular. She doesn't have any friends. She's a bit of a loner. No one wants to talk to her. Then Connell is the other main character, and his mom is the housekeeper or cleaner or something for Marianne's family. So they meet when he goes to pick up his mom every time she's over there, and they just talk and get to know each other, and they have this relationship of some sort. But then at school they don't talk, and then we just follow them throughout their lives. Right now they're in university, and I still hate it just as much as I did in the beginning. I finished the first chapter and then I gave you an update and I was like, I'm hating it, and I'm still hating it. I really don't like this book, and I might DNF it actually because I don't see the point. I don't think that this is going to be higher than 1 star, if even that. I have to rate it something, and 1 is the lowest possible. But I'm really not enjoying it. But like, this is the second book I'm reading for this video, and if I don't finish it, that's gonna be boring because I'm not gonna read another book for this video. So, don't really know what to do. I feel like I should, like I have to read it, but I don't really want to read it. So that's my update. We'll see what happens. But I love my lights. I'm very happy with that.